This is Fox 25 Morning News.
All right, Cindy, thank you very much. Well, they are calling it an urban oasis. The plans are now out for the proposed $1 billion gambling resort at Suffolk Downs. Developers from Caesars are vying for the one casino license in the eastern Massachusetts region. So what are their odds? Joining me now, as he does when we talk casinos, is Professor Dave Gulley from Bentley University. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Shan. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so happy to have you. So let's talk about this one, because your initial thought when you saw the plans laid out is what?
I was actually pretty underwhelmed.
Really?
The 200,000 square foot gaming facility seems pretty reasonable, but the rest of the proposal was really very modest. For example, only a 300-room hotel in the initial first phase, and that suggests that most of the gamblers they expect initially, at least, to be day trippers. And I think they're literally building to a little bit of underwhelming demand here to keep below to make sure that they don't overbuild, for example, like Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun currently have.
Right. Underwhelmed in any other respect, or just because of the hotel aspect of it?
Also, the restaurant and the theater facilities seem to be fairly small, but again, I think that's a deliberate strategy on the part of Caesars.
So that they can, because they can always grow, but it's hard to obviously scale back and overdo it in the first place.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so with Kraft and Wynn out of the game, as we saw what happened in Foxborough, is this a shoo-in, or why not?
No, it's not a shoo-in, but it certainly has a much better chance. Both mayors Menino and Rizzo seem substantially supportive of a casino in general, though of course they're very interested in the details, the mitigation for the transportation and so forth, which is unlike, for example, in Foxborough, where the town leadership was very opposed to the casino.
Yeah, they voted selectmen in that were obviously very anti-casino, and that kind of sealed the deal for them. Let me ask you this, because there's already a racetrack there, does that probably give it a bit of a better chance? We were talking about this before, rather than planting a casino in a place that maybe was suburban and had nothing there before. These people at least are already accustomed to there being some sort of gambling there.
Right. Well, I don't think it's so much that there's a racetrack already there, is that they have the land already available, which allows for the building of the casino and then the parking, crucially, and then later expansion. And then again, as we talked about, I think the most crucial thing is that they have, seem to have anyways, the local support from the politicians, and that's very important, as we've seen so far.
Yeah, tell me about that, because how influential are the mayors going to be in this? They seem to support it and seem to at least be open to it. How much influence will they have ultimately in making this decision?
I think they'll have a great deal of influence. For example, Mayor Menino has already set up a gaming advisory commission to advise him and the rest of the city council on how to negotiate and look at the statements that Mayor Menino has made and Mayor Rizzo. They have been very supportive in general of the casinos.
They talked about 2,500 construction jobs, 4,000 potentially permanent jobs being at that facility. Is that enough in this economy to maybe get a bunch of support? I mean, maybe if we weren't in this current economic state, would there be support for something like this?
Well, certainly that will sway some people, but from a statewide point of view, you have to take into consideration that the only reason it's going to be a net benefit is if it brings back people who are currently going to Connecticut to gamble and brings in people from other states. If they only succeed in getting Massachusetts residents to gamble and reduce spending on going out to restaurants and other forms of spending, that won't be very much of a net benefit to the economy. Yeah,
they're saying $200 million to the economy in that area if this were to go forward.
Yeah, to the state from the 25% cut.
In terms of the traffic in that area, that is the one complaint. People on the whole seem to be positive about it, but traffic in that area, and that is something they said they would work on.
Yes, it's a very dense urban area. Route 1A is currently configured, has no chance in terms of dealing with the proposed traffic up to 10,000 cars per day. But they've been looking at a proposal there for the casino for several years now, and they've done a lot of thought about the traffic issues. In fact, just in the next few days, they're supposed to unveil their initial proposal to deal with the traffic issues.
If you had to guess right now, do you think this will get the go-ahead?
Probably.
Probably.
I would bet on it.
So then potentially there could be something in Taunton and at Suffolk Downs.
Yes.
Which is still relatively close together, and you think that the state would go with that?
I think they would go for that, yes.
All right. He says it. Professor Dave Gulley, we appreciate you being here this morning. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Fox 25 Morning News.